Hello, Eternum, and welcome to KOTT News, Eternum's #1 source for news. And this is the War Report. Dynamic change in the history of Eternum last night as the forces of HBM captured the secondary oil reserves of the southern Cutlass Keys. KOTT News were on the scene and spoke with HBM leadership about the fight and upcoming events. Over in record fashion, care to take us through what happened out there? I know they had at least 30 people waiting to defend themselves from you.
Unfortunately, they had 30, but unfortunately we were able to recruit more. With the help of our allies' emotional damage, we couldn't have done it without them. We wouldn't have had the full roster. So shoutouts to emotional damage for showing up, filling out our ranks, and unfortunately I think it was just a numbers advantage. I mean, would have loved to see what an even fight would have looked like, but out there it was just unfortunately every fight they were outnumbered to practically 2-1. They put up their shields, but there would be someone behind them ready to strike. So really just no way for them to gain a foothold against the overwhelming numbers.
Well, they are Syndicate members, so they are aware of the practice they're going to have to put in, and they're already looking forward to the next opportunity. I spoke with them before the fight as a little preamble, so they'll be looking to turn it back as soon as they can. Perhaps not tonight, not as quickly as you and the Outcast came after them, but they'll be looking for more.
Yeah, I've been in talks with the Amethyst Alchemists. From what I know, they washed up on this island a long time ago when it's been lying dormant, finally returning to take a claim over the map. So I hope to see them out there again soon. Definitely some good people, good fights. And yeah, I'm excited to see what they can do in a tournament.
Oh, for sure. I'm sure they're going to do exactly. I'm looking forward to see what they do as well. They're good-natured people. Looking forward to that. Speaking of looking forward to things, in about a week's time, we're going to have some new laws of armed conflict rolling in. What are the 3 major topics are you looking forward to? And I'll remind you that they are going to be new rules of influence pushing, new mounted travel, and, of course, new musketeer rules.
Of course. I don't know. I don't remember when I first came to the island that you were on, at least, but a long time ago, I was a musketeer myself, and I have to say I'm very excited to hear that we will be hopefully seeing more of our kind on the battlefield. Truly a long dead art form that not many practice nowadays, so I hope to see the impact that has. Mounts, I think, are something that are going to be very interesting to see. Not sure if there will be any particular strategies involving or anything of the sort, but I think it will be interesting to see what kind of techniques people come up with utilizing their new friends. As for the influence pushes, I think it'll be great fun to have large scores of people out looking to capture these forts. It only makes sense, really. You would have to capture these small claims before you can move up to try to take on the fort itself. So I think it'll be fun. Excited for the impact it will have on both the map as well as just pushing itself. And I think it'll be a great time.
While in the hamlet, KOTT News spoke with Syndicate leadership about their next steps as well. Sorry that you were unable to field an entire roster tonight, but I'm sure that you'll have another opportunity soon enough. Would you care to give us any comments on what your expectations are for the next one?
I was kind of pushing for just going in buck naked and, having some fun that way, but one of our members came up with the idea to try and run a couple sword and shields on point and see how long we could hold out that way. Which, I will say, it's the longest I've ever survived with that many people hitting me.
Yeah, sword and shield gives you a little bit of durability, just a little bit, but if you're outnumbered that many, it's rough.
But yeah, I mean, we're planning on building up our PvP numbers, and hopefully the changes to influence gain and the changes coming to the way wars afford will things up enough that there's more and more companies that show up. So.
The celebration started immediately for some participants who spilled out into the streets. Man on the street, what would you like to tell us about it? Winra, thank you very much.
So anyway, I'm standing there just minding my own business, right? And then I saw these little turret thingies. And so what happened was, I was just like, hey, I have this little fire stick thingy. So I was just like, let me just fireball throw. So I was like, fireball, fireball, and then all of a sudden, it just out of nowhere, these people just came, and it was just like their sticks were hitting our sticks, and it was like sharp swords going bam, bam, right? And then so it was real crazy. So I had to run, so I ran around a little bit, and then all of a sudden we made we made a pretty good push. And then what happened was like the doors came down and just came crashing down. I hope somebody didn't die during the little rubble. But anyway, so it was just all crazy. I saw ice walls. I saw rainbows. So you know what rainbows are? It's like where people have bows of arrows and they shoot them down and it comes down like a rain. It's just crazy.
I'm sorry, John. He's been drinking. He's been drinking.
I've not been drinking. I saw the Pegasus.
In the late-night matchups, JDB were able to hold on to both fronts, and KOTT News were able to catch up to them to discuss their outcomes. I know the outcome of the Outcast War. It looks like you guys stepped up your game and held them to a 2-point outer. What can you tell us about those Marauders that took you out there in Brimstone?
Brimstone's kind of a zoo. It gets pushed regularly by random people, so we never know when we're going to get up there. And it just so happened this time it was a 5-man company.
Unfortunate. Was it, did you have the little mortar practice out there at the assault camp? Just keep them inside and check out your BB shooting?
We definitely had some soldiers up there. I haven't gotten to catch it yet, but I know they did a good job and they held it down. And our friends at Fresh Bench helped out quite a bit.
Oh, excellent. Unfortunate that you didn't have a true experience up there. But as I said, I was keeping an eye on the Outcast fight that you guys had tonight. It looks like you took to heart the last time that they pushed you back into fort and wanted to make sure that you spent a message this time. Anybody stand out in their performance tonight that you'd like to give a shout out to?
I think everyone did. We just listened to Jay Perry's comms much better. We played the war we want to play. We didn't mess around quite as much. I mean, when we found out it was kind of a farm, we switched it up a bit, but for the most part, everyone listened and did their job, so that's the end result.
With the Festival of the Campfire 2 days away, KOTT continues to assist Sandar the Baker in preparing a giant cake for the event. Acting on a tip from our desert informant to deal with 2 issues simultaneously, KOTT News crews searched for more eggs, but found them already removed. KOTT News will bring you more on this story as it develops. Turning to the weather for tonight, and even though it's going to be a pleasant afternoon for all you daywalkers of the island, volunteers for tonight's Invasion Response Squad will be called upon to prevent destruction across 30% of the island's northern edge. Another submission for Simulated Fantasy Combat Resolution tonight, brought to you by LARPco. Remember, if it isn't LARPco, it's cardboard. Tonight, the Syndicate members of Fresh Bench attack the Marauders of EP Town for control of the rain-drenched mountain region of Morningdale. Fresh Bench taking the momentum of their victory in the Fen and press onward into the mountains, hoping to push the Marauders' presence off the northern edge of the island. But the forces of EP Town have been doing high-altitude training all week in preparation of any advancing army, and intend to hold on to the mountains for the foreseeable future. Be sure to tune in for complete coverage and reactions from the citizens tonight at 11. Until then, this has been War Correspondent JChalant, KOTT News.